was my first and last mistake.
Oh, that's a monster. It's pond time. Right now I'm rigging up some twigs for us to go fish at the pond. We're gonna kind of take an account as to what the ecosystem looks like right now. It's been about a year ago today that we stocked those feed train bass and some of the koi and the grass carp. Hopefully we catch some of the feed train bass today and we can see how much they've grown. All those fish were about a pound and a half whenever I first put them in the pond. And we did catch some this summer that have grown significantly. So hopefully we can measure some growth over the next few years and have some big healthy bass. Beyond that, we've got some other work to do. We are going to do another stocking, put some more feed train bass in there, put some more forage fish in there for those bass to eat. You can probably hear the aerator beside me running continuously. That is because we are going to put the remaining small koi in the pond. Hopefully they survive. We've kept them in here for like a year now and they've grown hopefully enough to not get eaten by a bass that's bigger than them. We also have those fake trees that we still need to get out there. We failed miserably last year getting those out. They're a lot heavier than we expected, but I've got a game plan to get those in the water. Those will give the small forage fish somewhere to congregate around to try and survive instead of just swimming around in open water, because as far as I know, there's not a lot of coverage in this pond. All right, I'm gonna finish getting these twigs rigged up and I will see you guys at the pond. Brooke with another one of the feed trains. But look at how short and stubby this guy is. Literally like no tail, but a lot of chub to him. Again, the smaller mouth. A little bit of a blue tint, hard to see in this light. Let's weigh this guy.
2 pounds
Almost
and 6 ounces.
2.5 pounds. So this guy's gained like a pound since we caught him last. He's starting to get pretty wide too. We're gonna get him back in the water. Big old kick.
No,
Bruh.
it's not bad. I caught him like with grass, so it felt like it was huge. Another dink. I didn't even know I had a fish. Another little guy.
Another one.
We're gonna release Harold.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That is not a feed train one.
No, it's not.
It's just a
Pretty
normal
nice fish.
Ellen busy, yeah.
What do you think? Pound and a half?
Yeah, pound and a half. Big head. Could be a good fish.
Not bad. Got a little guy.
So these are the guys that need culled. We need to get this bass size out of the pond. More than likely not enough food for them to compete. I feel like we have maybe just a few too many bass.
So cute.
Brooke's got too big of a heart. She's gonna throw him back. My whole goal was to get some good drone shots right off the rip and show you guys the fish that are in this pond, but we broke off on the first bite. It was a monster, and it wasn't my knot, it was the line. We just fished a place where we got a lot of snags and a lot of kinks in our line, and I probably should have relined before we did this today, but I didn't. So
6 hours later.
guy. See you later, buddy. Loading up the fish. We've got 15 more feed train bass that we're gonna be putting in the pond. We've got 2,000 minnows for them to eat. And then we picked out 1 koi so far. We're gonna get 2 more, I think. So, I'm gonna load up and go to the pond. Welcome back to the pond. We're out of breath. We just unloaded all these boxes of fish. Here we have 15 more feed train bass. We're actually getting close to time of feeding. We've got some bigger pellets that we're gonna throw to the bass too. So hopefully we get some action during that. We also have 3 more koi, actually 5 more koi. We're gonna put 2 of the koi that we didn't put in last year. A little flashback to the clip of us murdering those 2 koi last year.
There he goes. Oh, the bass is trying to eat him.
Oh my gosh, look at this bass. Look at how big that bass
He's trying to
is.
eat him.
Oh my goodness.
Austin, we should have put these in.
That koi's dead. I think it just got it. There he goes. There he goes.
Dead.
Right here. He's going crazy. Look at him trying to survive. Look, he's trying to get back up. Get him.
Come here, buddy. In the bag.
So hopefully those ones are big enough now to actually survive the bigger bass in the pond. And then we have the 3 bigger koi that we got today, and we have 2,000 minnows, plenty of food for the bass to forage on, and more pellets for the bluegill to get bigger, for the feed train bass to get bigger. We're gonna weigh some of the feed train bass before we put them in. These are all pretty much pound, pound and a half, like the ones that we stocked last year. And you guys saw from the fishing video that we had earlier in the week that the feed train bass are in fact growing 2.5 pounds, most of them right now. So hopefully we get the same results going into next year, and they just keep blowing up. We want some 5 and 10 pounders in the pond. So we're gonna get these fish in the water, acclimated, let go, and we're running out of daylight. So we need to get the trees in the pond, all these fake trees you see laying around. I'm gonna hook up the kayak and hopefully get those in the water this time. We tried last year, failed miserably, and haven't had time to do so yet this year. So let's get after it. Here's the first bag of feed train bass. There's 2 in there. Brooke's untying it right now. We don't really have to do much with them. They said they don't really need acclimation. It's cold enough now. So we're just gonna kind of let them go, I guess.
I just went for it.
These guys are lively. Like Blake. There he is. Nice fatty. That one's probably 1.5 pounds. They got like a blue tint to them, a little bit smaller mouths. He's gonna go right away. Oh, and I about went with him. There he is. There he goes. Brooke let me sink. Got water in my boot. She's getting ready to untie 2 more bass.
Man, she really tied this one.
Put the water back in the pond real quick.
I might need the extra knife. She really wanted this one.
Brooke never really learned how to tie her shoes or anything, so gotta help her out real quick.
Yeah.
You're supposed to loosen the knot, not tighten
I
it.
didn't. It was already tight. She pulled it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're really getting it.
I did.
Did you?
It's untied, yeah. You see that?
Nope.
Just throw the bag in, they'll figure it out. Swim down!
What's the
Swim down!
What's the one girl that?
Darla? You look like her.
You want out? Here you go.
He's like, please don't.
Oh! That was cold. My theory is that these bass have smaller mouths predominantly because they don't eat fish. Like, they don't have to open their mouth that wide to eat fish because they're pellet trained. So I think a lot of them from birth, they give them red worms and then they move them up to pellets. And with the pellets being so small that they're eating, their mouths haven't had to adapt into a true largemouth bass. So I don't know if that's true or not, just my theory behind it, because all of these feed train bass have smaller mouths and they have like a bluer tint. I don't know if it's just because of the area that they have grown up in, but that's what these guys look like. And every time we catch one out of the pond, we know whether it's a feed train bass or not based on the genetics. So, sorry for stressing you out, buddy. You can go now. Cheers.
Cheers.
There they go. Oh. I think they still have them in there. There we go.
It's all the bass. All the feed-trained bass in the pond.
We call this one.
Bumblebee.
This one's Brooks. She named it Bumblebee. Decent sized koi. He's ready to go.
Dang.
New koi in the pond. Hopefully we see him again. This one she called a butterfly koi. She said that the tails get huge when they're full grown. Orange, black, white.
So pretty.
Gonna let him go with his friend. Oh yeah.
So
Stay away from the big bass, buddy.
Yeah.
This one we're calling Nemo. He's got a normal fin over there, and you can kind of see a messed up fin on his left side. He's a big boy. Let him go with his buddies.
Here he goes.
New home.
Yeah, he's pretty.
You can see him really well in the water. Hopefully the birds stay away from these guys. Bumblebee just came up and hit the surface real quick. I don't know if it was eating something or if just getting used to the water. They told us that we didn't really need to acclimate because it's so cold. All right, here's some minnows. I'm gonna chuck the dead ones out, get the bass chumming up a little bit. Hopefully keep them distracted from our smaller koi because we still got 2 small koi to put in. And it's close to feed time right now anyways. We got 2,000 minnows. I put 1,000 in, what, like 2 months ago? We have let these sit in the water here for a minute. Let them get used to temperature so they can survive. If they're not as big, they're not as old, and they'll die easily. But hopefully the bass eat these guys.
Big old herd.
I feel like we got more than 1,000
Yeah,
in that bag.
that's a lot.
Dude, there's a ton more still.
Oh, there's our koi. Our orange one just came up and like bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he. Brooks got some of the bigger protein pellets there. These are the ones that we use to feed the bass predominantly. We've got smaller ones in the feeder, but we're gonna throw to the bass and hopefully they eat. It's a little bit later in the year, and as it gets colder, they kind of stop eating. The bigger ones, the whole idea is that the bass don't have to work as hard for more protein. They get a bigger meal with the bigger pellet. Oh, we got a feeding from the feeder too. It's that time of day. So we threw everything at the right time. All right, here go these koi. These 2 koi we got last year. They were probably like this big whenever we first got these guys. We've raised them for a year. We fed them a bunch. They ate a bunch. They've grown. Are they big enough to withstand a 5-pound bass? I don't know, but it's time to put them in their home because I don't think we're gonna get them to grow any bigger in a tank like this. Here's one of them. Pretty good size now. They're probably like 9-10 inches. He likes me. And these guys did acclimate all day. I had water with them, so he should be ready to go. He's a little more lively. He's going. Out on the water, I've got a long walking measuring tape with a weight on the bottom of it. We're gonna finally see how deep this pond is. And at some of the deepest points where we know where they're at, we're gonna drop those artificial trees in. We've got 2 of those. Those will be good coverage for our koi and our forage fish to hide from predators. Another attempt at getting the fake trees in the pond and yet another failed mission. So we did get one of the fake trees in the pond. We had my truck on one side and Brooke pulling the rope on another side, and we made kind of like a tight rope that I walked it down on my kayak and I let it go in the pond. It is submerged, it is doing its job, it's just not exactly how I want it to be. So I'm gonna wait until the water warms up next spring, summer, and I'm just gonna get in. I'm gonna get in with a mask and get them buried where I want them to be. That way the forage fish have a good place to hide, hang out, have some coverage so that they can, you know, reproduce, live a little bit longer, and give the bass some sort of food source without, you know, just feeding them with the pellets. I'm happy with the stocking. We got a really, really good ecosystem going on. Make sure you guys stay tuned for more pond updates, more land updates. Subscribe, turn your notifications on. Don't miss any future videos. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our journey. And do not forget, this is all about sneakers.